If you talk to insiders in the Kamala Harris campaign, they're very worried about where they are because the American people just don't buy the idea that Kamala Harris, who has been vice president for 3.5 years, is somehow going to tackle the inflation crisis in a way tomorrow that she hasn't for the past 1,300 days. Giving Kamala Harris control over inflation policy, Shannon, it's like giving Jeffrey Epstein control over human trafficking policy.
The DNC is set to kick off this weekend. Kamala Harris, of course, is doing a bus tour, crisscrossing across the country to culminate in her coronation of becoming the Democrat president nominee. Of course, the problem is she just isn't that popular. So, of course, they try to pull out Megan Thee Stallion to have these massive crowds for her. But in reality, people just aren't that excited to see her. After all, check out this announcement at the start of her bus tour.
When my grandkids and your grandkids asked you about this, because on November 6th, you were there, first time when you got to welcome Madam President of the United States, Kamala Harris.
Yes, check out those massive crowds. They must have been able to fit at least 30 people under that pavilion. And of course, this is the popularity that Kamala Harris has. Definitely a grassroots campaign, people sprouting up out of nowhere in support. Now, of course, when Donald Trump does something like this, there's massive crowds, people lining the streets with signs, excited to see him even just drive by. And often, guess what? He will stop. He'll also go into places and greet crowds and buy them pizza. And everyone's like, oh, yes, we love Donald Trump. But Kamala, when she goes into a convenience store to buy a bag of Doritos, this is the exciting scene.
There they are. Yeah. Thank you.
I know you want this. What do you get? Or beef jerky? Can I go get it?
I do. And this is my go-to. The original nacho cheese.
That's good.
What do you like? What are you going to get?
Get some peanuts or cashews or something. All right, thank you, Press.
Yes, they cleared out a convenience store to make way for the press and for Kamala Harris. It's not really a meet and greet. It's saying, hey, look how down to earth I am, that I can come in and find my own Doritos. Completely ignoring the chip rack and wandering around until her husband actually says, oh, they're over here. Here's the chips. And the camera slowly pans over and you see that, yes, there are no normal people in this convenience store. Not one, right? This is completely just a political stunt, political maneuver, but really it just exposes how unpopular she is. However, what is surprising is Kamala Harris did take this stop to actually take the opportunity to answer 3 questions, and it turned out about like you'd expect. Check this out.
You unveiled some economic policies last week.
Yeah.
Can you explain how you're going to pay for those, and can you give us a sense of what other policies you want to unveil going forward?
Sure. Well, I mean, you just look at it in terms of what we are talking about, for example, around children and the child tax credit and extending the EITC. It's at $6,000 for the first year of a child's life. The return on that investment in terms of what that will do and what it will pay for will be tremendous. We've seen it when we did it in the first year of our administration. We reduced child poverty by over 50%. So that's a lot of the work. And then what we're doing in terms of the tax credits, we know that there's a great return on that investment. When we increase home ownership in America, what that means in terms of increasing the tax base, not to mention property tax base, what that does to fund schools, again, return on investment. I think it's a mistake for any person who talks about public policy to not critically evaluate how you measure the return on investment. When you are strengthening neighborhoods, strengthening communities, and in particular the economy of those communities, and investing in a broad-based economy, everybody benefits, and it pays for itself.
So, of course, Kamala Harris is trying to copy Donald Trump's policies, but then she goes way too far by saying, guess what? We're going to give $25,000 to first-time homebuyers. Some of them, okay? But of course, that's just a horrible idea, because where does that money come from? And when she's asked here in this video, where does it come from? How are you going to pay for it? She doesn't answer, right? She just says, oh, we have to, of course, increase the community, increase our investments, and we get a huge return on investment if we do that. Not if you're just either printing out money to cover that $25,000 cost, or you're taking it from the taxpayers to cover that $25,000 cost, all right? This is not an investment in the community. It is taking money from one place and moving it to another, and thus increasing debt or increasing inflation, depending on how you want to look at it. So yes, Kamala Harris, another word salad from her about improving communities when asked how in the world is this going to actually function. And people, of course, are sick and tired of these horrible economic ideas coming from the left. Let's check this clip out from Greg Gutfeld totally destroying Kamala Harris and her commie propaganda.
I've never heard a candidate today more unsure of themselves on a topic than Kamala Harris. I think she's been burdened by the weight of expectations put on her by the media. I've never seen a better campaign ad for Trump. She's campaigning better for Trump than Trump is. First, let's talk about the down payment issue on the House. A lot of this stuff is infuriating, because they're treating the American public like idiots. She makes a proposal that is only half an equation. The first half is, here's a nice thing for you. The second half is missing, who pays for it? You saw this with student loan theft, described as forgiveness. Who paid for it? You paid for it. You see with immigration policy, who's footing the billions and all that free stuff? You're paying for it. Nothing is free. Nothing is free. And the sooner or later you figure that out, the better off you're going to be. And that's directed at Democrats who don't understand that these policies are going to sink this country.
Just like I said, this is what the argument has to be. Who's going to pay for it? You're going to pay for it, either through inflation or through your taxes. You're going to be buying everybody's homes. And that might sound great for the people whose homes are being bought for them, but it's just not going to work in reality. Now, luckily, many people are seeing this and lining up behind Donald Trump, even in the blue state of New Jersey, as Don Lemon was able to find out this weekend. Check this out.
We're here in Jersey, Atlantic City. Who do you support?
Trump. I plead the fifth. Trump for the win.
Tell me why.
I can't really call that right now, but I just feel like she's not good for president. She's good vice, but not for the actual lead role for the country.
Does it have anything to do with being a woman?
No. No, because I feel like women, nah, you're not going to give me that.
Your money's on Harris.
Yeah.
Who do you want?
Trump.
Why don't you like Harris?
She doesn't have any experience.
She's the vice president. She's a senator.
Yeah, no experience. No. She has no experience.
Well, I want Donald Trump. I just feel we need somebody that has a stronger background with the military and the world in general.
She was a prosecutor and an attorney general and a senator and a vice president. You're in a gambling town. Who's your money on?
I'm going to support the Democratic Party, but, I mean, Trump looked like he got it in the bag right now.
4 years ago, it was a lot better. I made a lot more money than I do now.
I know you feel that way, but that's not actually what the record shows. The economy is actually better under Biden. No, I'm serious. That's what the facts show.
CNN?
Okay, you know what?
No, that's not because I watch CNN. Trump or Harris?
Trump.
That's who's going to win.
That's who's going to win.
Who you support?
I support Trump. All the people that came to this country legally, it's not fair that they're letting all 10,000 to 15,000 people or 20,000 people here illegally. Have you seen San Diego? Yeah. They're coming off the boats, off the water right here, off the ocean. Did you know Biden was flying them in? Did you know Biden was flying them in? You didn't know that?
Yes, you did see a little bit of misinformation there where he said 20,000 people. Yeah, it's more like 20 million, okay? But aside from that, you can see that a lot of these folks are saying, hey, I think Trump's going to win. And yes, Trump would be better, but Don Lemon. Oh, but Kamala was a prosecutor. And don't trust your own pocketbook. Don't trust what you're seeing with your own eyes. The numbers actually show that Joe Biden's economy is much better because numbers can never be cooked and stats can never be cherry picked, right? So I love watching this whole segment blow up in Don Lemon's face. All right. And once again, blue New Jersey is where he was. All right. But of course, he's not the only person to find out. Check out this segment from ABC.
Melody Davey has not bought in. Trump's rhetoric has clearly had an effect on her in an astonishing way.
Have you decided who you want to vote for?
Honestly, no. I'm leaning towards Trump.
And why is that?
A lot of the stuff Kamala says is kind of like what Trump has said, like no taxes on tips, was something that was kind of reiterated by Trump beforehand. She's just kind of been caught up in a lot of lies.
Like what?
I think lying about her heritage was one of them.
You think she lied about her heritage?
Yeah, I believe she's just Indian. I don't think she's black.
She is always identified as black. She is half Indian.
Well, I think that's something we can definitely agree to disagree on.
And there was no convincing her otherwise.
Look out, Trump's propaganda, his misinformation is working. He's convincing this young black woman that Kamala Harris is not the way to go. Of course, simply looking around your neighborhoods and the world in general would be an easy way to convince many, many people to vote for Donald Trump. So thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, share, comment, subscribe, and stay safe out there, people, because they're coming after you.